Hi, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael. I'm here with Sunil. Today is the market weekly recap for week ending March 15, 2024. So I just have this NASDAQ chart here and the daily chart, and you can see it looks like a top has happened on the Friday, the previous Friday. Which was the day that not only NASDAQ reversed, but it was the big day where NVIDIA also reversed from the peak. So if we go back to NVIDIA, so right here, so they look almost very similar, right? The chart. So as you can see, NVIDIA they have a one-day bounce here, but really it didn't make it far, and now it's resuming. It's slowly pulling back again. And I know this week everyone's excited for the AI conference from NVIDIA. So maybe that hype could linger a little bit. But if it doesn't bounce, if it doesn't announce anything good or anything that could propel more investors coming in, I could see it going down further. This is my slope line right now for the downtrend, and the 50 days coming up here. So I'm not sure about, the last time it didn't go to 50 day, it only went to 21 day. So the pink line here is a 21 day. So that would be around this level. So, but those are key levels to watch for. The 200 day is pretty far down, so that you can see, it's extended for sure, but not like, it's not like super extended. I mean, this is like around 575, 880, that's like not 50%, so that's not super extended. But yeah, whether you'll pull back to 21 day and then or 50 day, hard to tell. So I guess, watch this week, see what happened. But it's definitely not showing a lot of strength right now. And the volume is pretty high on the sell side, you can see right here. So something to watch out for. So coming back to NASDAQ chart. So yeah, we have the NASDAQ chart is definitely looking also weaker, right? Like you can see for the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks here, this 16,000 support is critical. And it looks like, Friday it undercut that and didn't want to close above it. And so that is a problem right now. And because this is a pretty strong resistance level, and if we fall back below it, then yeah, then that you lose the support at this. So again, same thing here. 21 day support has been huge. Whether it will bounce back from here will be critical. So we don't see any bounce back this coming week. Like I could see it definitely go to 50 day. And the longer, like you see how fast it bounced back, like one day bounce. This one like about 2 days and then it bounced, right? And then here 1 day, like it usually bounce pretty fast. So if, like say, in a couple of days it doesn't bounce, it's usually not gonna bounce. So it has, but so far it has bounced so far. And then this one, about 3 days, right, before it bounced. So yeah, watch for that signal. The 50-day line is pretty close to it, so it wouldn't be hard for it to reach that line. And that would be pretty common for a pullback. Like if it, like this time, the first one was like early January. It didn't really touch the 50-day, so that was a really good bounce there right after. Yeah, so watch for that. In terms of the weekly chart, we have 2 consecutive weeks down now, so that kind of started a new trend possibly. And yeah, so before this it was like 18 weeks up, so pretty strong uptrend, but now looks like the market might be running out of juice to propel it higher. And obviously we have the Fed meeting coming up this Wednesday, and could be interesting to see what Fed Powell will say. So whether we have 2. So yeah, this week we have CPI came out So Monday, a lot of stocks struggle, continuing the decline from previous Friday, and then the CPI came out 0.4% expected, but higher than the January 0.3% rise. The index itself was up 3.2 versus 3.1 on an annual basis, so you can see it's not going down, right? So that's the problem. And then the core also rose 0.4% versus the 0.3% expected. And then it also for annual it went up 3.8 versus 3.7. So this is a big problem right here. It's just not going down to lower, right? So this could be a problem for the Fed, right, going forward. What they're gonna do, are they gonna cut rates before the election, or are they just gonna stick by their gun and say, hey, we're gonna wait and wait and wait, right? So that's a big problem. Let's see what else here. So S&P was probably the most resilient this week. Like, it keep making new highs. We'll look at the chart in a second. So yeah, but the distribution days are starting to pile up. Like, if I go to share my trend here, so this is IBD, their newspaper. So on Thursday and Friday we saw 2 distribution days in a row again. This is not healthy. This is now six distribution days and 6 on S&P, and but because they haven't undercut the 21-day, probably that's why they haven't changed the outlook yet. But it's getting really, this is a big warning sign now. Like I said, it's been building up, right? We have 2 there, 3 previously, and then 2 here. So it's been building up quite. Like, you can see all this selling happening behind the scene. And on the stock side, it's like very fluctuating, right? Like, you see Monday, Thursday, Friday's big sell off. Tuesday, Wednesday was a bounce back there. On the sector side, really this whole week you don't see much accumulation at all. So that's why, from my perspective, I haven't really get into many stocks. The only area that has really start to rise is the commodity energy sector. That seems to be rising. You can see by Friday there's more net accumulation in terms of the number of stocks. So yeah, so that's the only area that's a little bit shows some shine right now, but every other area seems to be lagging. Even financials got hit hard on Friday. Health, you can see technology got hit the hardest on Friday as well. So it's just not really, there's not much to look at right now. So going back to the notes here. Yeah, so again, the producer price index. So the consumer price index on Tuesday, and then producer price index rose 0.6. This is also more than the 0.3% expected. And then the annual was 1.6 versus 1.2. So again, this was like surprisingly Tuesday on the CPI, the market didn't react as negative as it should. And then by Thursday, it really, this number really like put a doubt, right, on the. And we'll look at the yields in a second. Like, it really jumped on this day. And then the jobless claim, is still very slow, like good numbers, 209 versus 215. So the job number side still look good. Retail sales. So this one, 0.6 versus 0.7. So it wasn't too bad at all. Like, so this is still okay. Yeah. So let's jump to yield, just since we're talking about it. So this one is a big problem right now, and if we go to it, you can see this big jump here on Thursday right here. So that was the day the producer price index came out, and like I said, even the CPI day, it also jumped here, but the market didn't go down as much. Like, I think it was up there actually. But here you can see the 2 big jump days, and now it's starting to look a little bit scary. It's now back to 4.3%. So if we break this 4.35, that might scare the market even more. So that's something to watch out for. Let's jump back. Let's look at Russell. Like this, the Russell really took the opposite edge of this, right? You know, so if we go to Russell, the small caps are gonna get hurt the most if if the rates stay higher for longer. And here we go. So like you can see Tuesday right here, and then Thursday was the big drop right here. This was a huge down day. It undercut 10-day, the green line, 21-day, the pink line, and it did find some support from Thursday's low. But again, this is a big drop, so it doesn't surprise me that it bounced a little bit. But the downtrend could have possibly started, and you can see there's like 5-6 days now of downtrend. So that would be like this slope right here, and here's a 50-day starting to flatten out. So that being said, this is the breakout right here. It fell, so two times anyone got trapped here. They're under the water now, and now we're starting to enter the danger zone, which is the middle of the base, which is in line with this 50-day. So whether it will fall below this 50-day, that would be really bad, because as you can see, this recent uptrend has not fallen below the 50-day so far. It could, you see this trend line here, even that is holding up. So but if it fell this, it's going to go to 50-day line, and then the next support level would, whether it'll go below that will be dangerous. Again, I don't know. If this does happen, I think a lot of people will be very frustrated, because the Russell has tried to come out for so many times, and every time you see, we're coming back to the near 2000 level, and hopefully this is it, right? But if it doesn't, I think if it goes down below 2000, it will shake out a lot of people. So something to pay attention to. And again, I think this Fed meeting could be a catalyst to this, right? Whether it goes up or down, I don't know, but it could move this one way or the other, depending on what they say. So something to really pay attention to. So that's Russell. Like I said, S&P is very strong. I mean, it's down 2 weeks in a row, but it's barely down, right? It's so tight. Look at how tight that is. And so yeah. So it hasn't. I guess it also didn't make a new high. I mean, it made a closing high on Tuesday, but yeah, but not an actual intraday high. So so this one is also near the 10-day, like slightly below it now. Again, same thing. 21 days seems to be support line. Oh yeah, if any of the index break the 21-day, I think it's gonna go down further, right? It's gonna go to the 50-day. Dow Jones, have been more flat than the other index recently. But again, this is also entering critical level. This bottom channel line is very it has been supported for many weeks now. So if it fell this line here, which is like, I think, let me just double check here. Yeah, it's like 38,700, around there. If it fell that, which we're very close to it, if it fell this, yeah, then it's gonna like the 50-day for this one is much closer because it has been flattening. So yeah, so it doesn't take much to even hit that line. And also you can see Dow has really extended, right, from the 200-day, because that was one of the first one to hit a new high in terms of the index here. It came out the earliest one. So but now, like I say, it looks pretty good. It's just like going sideways mostly while the 50-day catch up. It hasn't been performing in the last probably a month and a half or something like that, 4 or 5 weeks. And you can see the relative strength is weaker. All right. Yeah, so let's look at the growth IBD 50 here, just to see where is that, how growth stocks are doing. So we're also seeing 2 weeks of down week, although both weeks are not closing at the lows. So that looks okay. Again, that means it's finding support here. So you can see how many times it came under the support level, and it just wouldn't go down much. So that's a good sign. You can see the lows are kind of rising up. but it is very volatile right now. So even if the growth stocks have a little bit of lag, it just doesn't move much. It's very choppy. Like, I mean, this is so choppy. Like, I don't know, man, how you can hold any stock without risk management. So that's the top problems right now for growth stocks. And yeah, but overall the trend, like I said, is still looking very good. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, look at this: close at the top, 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 close in the middle, close in the top. So it's like it hasn't closed at the lows of the range like in the last 6 weeks. That's amazing strength. So despite all this volatility, it's like I said, it's showing good signs. It just means that people aren't giving up on the growth stocks as much as one would think, and so if it can survive, I think it will come out stronger the other side. So that's the IBD 50. Friday, not much news, just the Empire State Manufacturing Index. It did contract more than expected, like -20 versus -8. So that's pretty bad for factory orders. So that's not good in terms of could be a poor sign for the economy. Also on Friday, again, a lot of stocks, especially like software stocks, sell off, which is I don't know. It was some of them were doing okay, and then all of a sudden Friday it sold off. So like a few, obviously Adobe got hit really hard on earnings. I mean, this is a pretty bad, weekly 1 week kind of change. It's just really, really negative. Like this is, I just never imagined Adobe to drop like that. This is like really bad. I don't even know, like their numbers are okay, but their guidance, because it was down. So it looks like the market sentiment, like to me, right? I always see how the market react on earnings. If the numbers miss, that's one thing. But if the market react really negative, that's another thing, right? It's more important to see how the market react. And this is a really bad, or like I don't know, just kind of more of a sentiment going forward. It looks like market is really punishing stocks that miss, and especially on the guidance side. So let's look at Oracle. Oracle have a good earnings. Look like it bounced. Hasn't given up much yet of the gains, so that looks okay. So Oracle, high volume coming back in. Again, some people consider this a potential AI stock. I don't know what they're doing on the AI side. I haven't heard much, but anyhow, yeah, so relative strength jump up because of that. The problem with this stock, I haven't traded this stock much. The problem with this stock is just it's so choppy, right? It's just every time you look at this space fell, look at this space fell, look at this space. Like this is the first time it has worked, like really. Like I mean, this one worked previously, so right here. But like I said, so in the last few months it hasn't worked. So who knows? Maybe this is so the earnings are negative 12%. So that's not a good thing. Like even though probably that was better than market anticipate. So at least there's it's not going down. So let's just jump to Microsoft since that's a software stock. So again, Microsoft, you can see here very tight flat base, and then it came out on Thursday, and then Friday it gave back all these gains, and I mean, it does happen. It basically went back, to even below the buy point, and then it touches the 10-day. So it's not like super bad or anything, but it is not good, right? Like, if this could fail is what I'm trying to say. The fact that it give us so much the day after it breaks out is always, to me, is always something to watch out for. It could be a bull trap, right? And if you think that, so make sure, anyone have this, probably make sure you have risk management. I mean, it did find support at the 50-day here, so that's the good sign. But doesn't mean, like this is a very violent move on Friday. I'll just jump into another one. Like Duolingo, I was watching it, and you can see this nice cup with handle pattern, and it was starting to move up, and then look what happened. Right, it just undercut like the last 3-4 days, right? So this is like, again, the volume wasn't there, but but this is not a good sign, right? Just giving up the price movement so easily. It should be the opposite. It should be like, going up strong and then giving up very little. That's what you want to look at, and this is the opposite of that. So, but I still like this stock. It could be a potential leader. But it's been very choppy. Again, this market condition is not as good, compared to a few weeks ago. It's definitely more choppy now, and it's gonna be hard to hold any stock, even if you buy the breakout. So yeah, this is another good example of how, if you did buy on the little bounce, it's now you're under the water. So, you can see the earnings are pretty strong. Like 0.76 cents, that's much higher. I don't know if this is correct. I think when I check another site, it says 30 cents, but even 30 cents is still a pretty good number. So anyhow, so that's that. Okay, so let's look at mid cap for a second. So mid cap, a lot of analysts have been pointing out mid cap how it's a really strong one. But even that one is giving up back this week. So let's see how it looks like on the daily chart. Yeah, you see the same thing, right? It topped the last Friday, and you can see it the 10-day is starting to slope downward. Again, no one knows how long this downtrend will be. So like I said, patience is the key right now. Just let the market work itself out and see what's going on. But mid caps have been, doing pretty well, so versus small caps. So small cap has been very volatile and not doing as well. Let's look at the equal weight to see where the market breadth is. So this one, yeah. So Thursday was a very big down day, and then Friday, like this, a lot of people point this out. I think it's it's happening on every index, not just mid cap or RSP. Yeah, this is RSP equal weight. Look at the volume on the sell side, right? It's starting to show, and that comes to those distribution days we're talking about, the IBD track. Like we're at 6 now, right? Now this Nasdaq looked even worse. You look at this, right? Like this one's getting closer to the 50-day already. So this, if if you look at this as a leading indicator, this is already getting worse. Now the volume here is not as bad, so that's I guess a little bit better. But the price movement is definitely, like, again, see, it undercut all the support level here, and now it looks like. So like I said, the next question is, if it does undercut and the other indexes does undercut the 21-day, it's going to go down to 50-day, and then when it goes down to 50-day, then the next question is it going to hold at 50 days? Generally it should, because that's where institutions come in and buy. But I've been saying this, right? Because the rally extended for so long. Like, I mean, February, I thought early February was going to be when the market started to pull back. It didn't. I mean, it pulled back for a couple of days, and that was it. And then so the longer the rally, the more likely it'll be a more bigger pullback, right? And when I say bigger, I'm thinking like 7 to 10%, right? But we'll see. So by the time I get to the red line, it's probably close to 5%, I think, for most of the index. Okay, so that's that. Okay, let's look at the dollar. So the dollar has bounced back, and the dollar tend to move with the oil. So this is kind of now starting to break out as well. So if I look at the oil, the dollar is getting stronger, and the oil, you see, look at this. It breaks out from this nice cup with handle, and look at what it did on Friday. It didn't want to go down. As much as you should pull back after a strong day, because this was a gap up breakout. As much as you should pull back a little bit, it just doesn't want to. Look at how tight that price is. This is really strong. I'll just jump right to it. Like some of the stocks I'm following, TDW, Tidewater, has always been, you know, a leader. It hasn't done much lately, but if you look at the weekly chart, this is a long-term uptrend stock. It even ran in 2022 during the bear market, and now it's starting to come out. And this is a base and base pattern, whereas usually those breaks are pretty strong. Look at this volume right here. This is crazy volume in the last 3 weeks. But the movement, the price movement is not a lot, but you know, but you see like right here on the earnings, it jumped. But after that, the volume is still coming in, and you know, yeah, I think, you know, there's a high chance this could move. Like I said, it's been coming out really slow, but you can see how tight it's trading after it breaks out. So no one wants to give in to this selling here, and so now it's starting to move higher. Like I said, it's still not moving at a high fast pace, but the slope is getting stronger now on the 10 days, so it's almost 45-degree angle. So that's a good sign. Another one, Weatherford. Same thing with this guy. You can see this base on base on base pattern. This one even crazier, triple base. Really long-term resistance level. Finally, it breaks out. Again, same thing. It didn't move fast. You know, the volume is not as strong as TDW here. But again, same thing. It broke out. It really tight. Just doesn't want to. No one want to give in to selling. You can see right here. The days are above average are all blue days. So even on Friday, it just didn't want to give back. So look at how tight this is trading. And this slope is not as strong as TDW. It's probably more like 30, 35 at most degree angle. But still, nonetheless, it could pick up. This stock could pick up. Yeah, FTI, like I've traded FTI as well before. This one broke out. You can see base on base pattern again, and look at it. Like it was slow to begin with. Like, you know, it even fell this first breakout, come back, build a handle, and then the handle is really tight. And then as soon as it break out, it took off. And now this is like, you know, a 60-degree angle. Yeah, so FTI is also like, you know, when you look at the weekly chart, it's also been one of the big riser before, so it could possibly rise pretty fast as well. So this one, 16 cents, 1 cent. Yeah, it's pretty. This percent thing, I don't know if they're gonna fix it. It's been messed up, man. But anyhow, this 1 to 16 cents pretty good. All right. So that's FTI. We'll come back to some of the other commodities still, but these are the, you know, some of the good ones. All right. Yeah. So next week, but you know, we know the Fed meeting Tuesday, Wednesday, AI conference from Nvidia starts Monday. So that's why I think, you know, if the market doesn't, if Nvidia cannot hold on this conference and, you know, whatever product announcement they have, that's going to be a bad sign. Like, it's almost like sell on the good news kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see that happen. Yeah, home builders. You know, I mean, so it's been weak, right? The housing starts has been weak. So let's just look at it. Like, I know Lennar got beaten bad this week on the earnings. It dropped really high on volume. Like, this is, I mean, I don't know if this is just like, they bounced back on Friday, so we'll see. But let's look at KHB. What is the home builder? Yeah, so the composite purchasing managed index and Philadelphia manufacturing index come out on Thursday. Next week we see earnings from Nike, Micron, KBH, Home, Ollie, Lulu, and Five Below. So right now I feel like, you know, it's good to pay attention to some of the early earnings from February, and see how they're doing. Although there's not many stocks, but at least it gives some sign. Ares is one. Okay, so this one I always forget, like, because it's classified as pollution control. What they do is like they recycle the water for oil and gas companies on the sites, right? And this stock has worked before. If I go to weekly chart, it was doing pretty well last year at some point, 2022, and then it built this huge base, and now look, it's coming back up, and yeah, IBD highlighted, and this uptrend is really strong right now, really strong. So this is something you can see, the volume, just tremendous volume. Yeah, everything looks good on this stock right now, so something to watch out for. Like I say, because it's under pollution control, I always forget this is like energy related, because that's what they serve, is they serve oil and gas companies. So that, because energy is moving up, this guy is also like kind of moving up along those. So infrastructure play here for oil and gas. Yeah, earnings are pretty strong. Let's look at the here. Yeah, so 22 cents was a 17 cents estimate. So yeah, so it looks like it's gonna do well. Yeah, something to pay attention to this one. So we're gonna talk about accumulation distribution. Let's look at the Fed Watchtool here. So okay, before we jump to that, since I'm on this page, so the Atlanta Fed GDP estimate is now below 2%, 2.3. Yeah, 2.3 right here, so around here, right here. So it's still pretty good. And we almost near the end of March, right? Like we have a couple more weeks to go. So this is a really good sign for this quarter. And again, that's this current quarter. I don't know about next quarter though. That's the more interesting thing. In terms of Fed announcement, like they're not going to change rates, at least based on the futures here. May, nope, 90% won't change rates now. June, so this is still above the 50% threshold in my cut rate in June. So there's still a high possibility. We'll see what happens after the Fed meeting, whether this goes down or up. July remains. September, so September is another cut. So the market is still expecting, I think, 3 cuts, right? So November stays the same, and then December cut again. So yeah, so basically June, September, December right now is what the market thinks, still 3 cuts. But like I said, we'll see what the Fed say. Yeah, I guess they still have one more meeting in May, so maybe they're gonna, by May they will say something for sure about June cut. But what they might just come out and say, hey, we'll just wait and see one more month of data or something. So that's pretty much for that. The AAII investment sentiment is it's not as bullish anymore. Like it went down 6%, but the bearish hasn't gone down much, hasn't gone up much either. So the fear index on CNN is still set green. So again, it's been stuck at this level for a while now. It's just basically near the, it's not extreme green, but it's like coming back to the middle range. This so this one is, so the I think the so this put call ratio also has been coming up a little bit, so you see a little bit more puts. So it's not at all-time low. But this one is the one that is really catching more attention. Is how it's the bulls and bears weekly newsletter. You see the bullish is now past 60%. I think they said the last time this bullish was like back in like 2000 or something. And then the bear is also at the lowest in a long time, they said. So this is, you see the spread is like really wide now. So this one is very interesting. This one is followed by IBD. All right, so those are some of the sentiments. Let's look at sector wise. Okay, so daily chart and SMH. So on the like look at the weekly chart, right? It reversed the week before, and look at this. It make a new low this week, right? So you know this is starting to look more like a downtrend for sure. And if you look at the daily chart, you can draw a slope line that looks like this. So it's a pretty sharp correction. How far down it'll go, I don't know, but that's what it looks like. The software side, again, I was very optimistic about the software side. Like it was kind of building this like nice pattern here, and then I thought this right here was the breakout, but I guess it fooled a lot of people, including me. And now look at it, it failed the breakout, right? So this is very negative. And not only that, look at it, it undercut the 50-day here. So even though the index hasn't, the software is telling me something bad is about to happen. So yeah, you know, same thing with SMH, right? I guess I didn't point that out either. Okay, so SMH right here, 21-day. It's way high above the 50-day. Here's the 21-day here. So yeah, you know, since SMH has been the leader this year in terms of sector, I think like if this guy fell, I would almost expect all the index to also fail below their 21-day. So I would just pay attention to how the chips handle themselves. Yeah, so we're gonna look at Nvidia. I mean, you can look at other ones, AMD. This one is coming down pretty fast, right? Even faster than Nvidia. This is the slope line right now. ARM. So ARM, this is the slope line right now. It's not as steep as AMD, but it's still coming down. So here, and then I think the other one, the SMCI. SMCI, you know, I mean it topped the same day as the index did. But this one looks slightly better, right? Than AMD or even ARM, or I mean even looks slightly even, you know, like Nvidia actually. But you know, who knows? The volume is starting to come in, so watch out. Yeah, so that's the chip side. If we go to software side, we already looked at some, but let's look at some other ones. Salesforce. Look at Salesforce. It's given up again. This is the support level. It's starting to give up, right? So you can see 50 days not far. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of stocks just want to come down to 50-day, and then we'll see what happens at 50-day, whether they find support or not. Because if they don't, then we're gonna have a much further way to go, right? The gap between 50-day and 200-day is so big. ServiceNow, another one that, you know, just same thing, right? Same problem. It was trying to come out right here, you see, break the downtrend line, but guess what? It fell. Now it's below the downtrend line again. So this was a bull trap for sure. 3 days of bull trap. So this is really negative, right? So if no one wants to buy on this break, like this kind of, I don't want to call it breakout because it's not quite a breakout yet, but just, you know, a little like coming back above the trend line. If no one wants to buy there, then that means that, you know, people don't have confidence, right? So that means this is gonna go a lot lower. So this is like for me a strong indication. Like the software was like for me the last area to say, hey, is there potential signs, right? But by, let's say, by Friday, I'm just glad I didn't make the move on Wednesday or Thursday here. You know, for most of those stocks, let's say if we go back to Microsoft, it was similar, right? Like Microsoft was the most obvious one. Thursday it broke out, and then now this one is still not look that bad because it's still near the highs. And this one is very close to 50 days. So I would say Microsoft is definitely, based on chart wise, is definitely the leader on the software side. So those are the two areas. Oh yeah, SHB, that's the home builder, I believe. Let me just double check here. Okay, so yes, there you go, home builders. So it's still looking okay. You know, it's now at the 10-day. It's not that bad. It's still on the uptrend. So we'll see. You know, like who are some of the players here again? DHI is one, I think. So this guy is a nice flat base here. You know, it's above the 50-day. So we'll see. It still look pretty good. It hasn't break out yet. What's the other one? PHM. Multi group. So this one is the one that sometimes Jim Ropel mentioned. It's still looking pretty good. So yeah. Well, consumer staple is still holding pretty strong here. The 10-day support is right there. So again, this, you know, the staples, I don't know. It's consumers are still doing okay, and then discretionary. Okay, so this one is slightly weaker now. You can see it broke this tight right here, tightness here. So I guess this is not a good sign. Looks like the downtrend is resuming, but we'll see how it reacts on the 50-day, because this one broke out and now it's below. So it's not a healthy sign, like, you know, consumer discretionary. So we'll see what this means. Still very early to tell which direction it'll go, but right now it's just pulling back. Okay, so we'll look at the rest of the mega caps here. Google. So very surprising. Google have a very strong week this week. I don't even think there's any news. So it broke the downtrend line, and now it's at 50-day line. So we'll see what happened here. But this is very strong. Like, I'm surprised how fast it came back. So someone is definitely buying here. Like, this is the 200-day line right here, and there's lots of people who believe in Google still. So you see, that's, you know, it's not often it comes back to 200-day. So you can see there is a lot of people wanting to buy around that level. Meta. So Meta also, you know, kind of considered software like, and it has really just losing its steam here. This is the downtrend line right now. So, you know, this is a lot of days of consolidation, this area. So hopefully it doesn't break. If it does, then here's the 50-day line. It might go down there. Amazon, also software related. This one is still trying to hold tight. Again, same thing, very tight. Very tight. So yeah, this tightness, again, we'll see how it deals with this tightness, but Amazon's been acting not too bad. I mean, the relative strength line is still near the highs here. And then the two stocks that, I don't know, starting to look like really bad stocks. I mean, Apple is at relative strength 28. That's really low now. Like, I mean that's like bottom of the feeders now. Like, you know, so the downtrend is definitely happening. And you know, we're getting close to this low level. If it breaks that, I don't know, man. It's gonna go much further. This is so negative. Someone is selling Apple big time. Could be Warren Buffett. I don't know. Tesla, same thing. Downtrend line is just so steep, right? This last 2 weeks has like almost like accelerating in selling, and I mean, I don't know if it broke that level. Let me just go check, because that would be negative if it did. 152. So no, not quite yet. So yeah, so I think if it breaks this level, we'll probably see a very big volume coming in. There'll be a lot of people shaken out. Yeah, I don't know like what could be the catalyst for Tesla, because I mean, look at this earnings, right? 64 cents, so it's going down. 72 cents. Like, you know, the key is whether they can even hold this number, I think, because those are the guidance, right? If they can't hold those numbers, That would be really bad for them. So that's pretty much it from the mega cap side. On the stock side, let's just jump to it. Yeah, so GCT was really strong. Like it has a good, I guess, like earnings report or something. I didn't even pay attention, but it did bounce back quite a bit that on Friday and make new high again. You know, the consolidation is so short. Like this is just, I'm just staying out of this right now. But it was a huge move. So anyone trying to short this got punished on Friday. But yeah, it's just a really long uptrend. Like, I mean, 39 to 37, right? So the next quarter is not as strong no more, right? So I don't know, but the market seems to like it. I don't know. Yeah. Like Coinbase. Okay, let's just look at that quickly here. I mean, it gave back. There's no doubt it gave back. Let's look at. I mean, you know, again, I don't know whether they'll bounce back, but I like to draw trend lines above the highs and see whether they can, you know, come back above this line and stay there and eventually form a base. Like, that's what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for base building, right? And because these stocks have only been on the 5-6 day downtrend, you know, it's possible that they bounce off this moving averages, either the 10-day or 21-day, and then keep going. That's highly possible too. But I don't know. I just feel like that's still too much risk for me because the gain is so significant, right? 44%. That I like to see more consolidation, right? Like 5 weeks flat base is what the minimum for IBD. And then anything like 6 or 7 weeks are usually much better. Because that means you stand the time essence, meaning people just don't want to sell, right, over time. So you give it enough time and it, you know, consolidate here, and you see if, you know, any high volume comes in on the sell side, and once that subsides, that means, you know, hey, you know, the sellers are done. Then slowly the buyers will take more control back. But now it's just like I said, it's hard to even buy on a pullback because they've been up so much, right? I just need to see more time for them to consolidate. But yeah, so that's Coinbase. Like, let's jump to like GBTC since we're talking about crypto. So it has, again, I don't know if this is a top, but it definitely 2 days. Generally, you know, look at Thursday, big down day, right? After a big down day, I always like to see a bounce back very quickly. And not necessarily recoup the whole day's loss, but at least half of it. And look at what this did. It doesn't want to even regain half of it. It closed at the bottom. So it's almost like it's another day for sellers, right? Of course, there's buyers coming in. That's why it's not going down yet. But the problem is it's just not enough buyers to make it go back up. So yeah. So I don't know. I'm just that's what I'm observing on that. We already talked about SMCI. Let's see here. Quick. Yeah, this stock, I don't know. It just came on the radar this week. I never even heard of it. Quick Logic. It's a chip semiconductor stock. It's looking pretty good. Like, look at this breakout. It hasn't even tried to come back. And it's a young stock. Really small cap. But it's moving at a nice angle. The volume is there. Look at that volume. All the blue lines above average volume. Yeah, this, I never heard of this stock. Like, it just came onto my radar. So this is the base here. So they're finally turning positive. So 0.04 to negative to positive here. So this could be, you know, you can see the earnings line starting to go up, right? So yeah, this could be a potential, you know, new. It's so small though. Like, look at this, 200 million, right? So CrowdStrike hitting new lows on relative strength. ANET, like even ANET, right? Like I was hoping, again, same thing. A lot of the stocks here, it's like doing a tight, so it is a flat base here according to IBD chart now. So it finally finishes 5-week flat base. I know some of the IBD guys are holding this right now. Trading very tight, I would say. And even with all this volume on the sell side, it's still trading pretty tight. That's pretty good. It's not giving up the price much. So yeah, I would say, you know, this if this breaks out, I would definitely get in, because it just looks like it has support right now so far. 173 from 143 to 173, so it's rising at a nice pace. So I would say it's good. All right. So ANET looks good. HIMS, I haven't really followed that as much. CVLT, now we already talked about. IBM. Yeah, I thought IBM was good. Again, same thing. Another software stock that I thought, look at this, right? It tried to come out, right? Just like Microsoft. It tried to come out. This is a flat base. So this is what I'm seeing. Some of the stocks are already trying to come out of the flat base. So, but again, it didn't make it far enough at all. And now it's starting to come back to the, lows here on the last 7-8 sessions. So that's not a good sign. But hopefully that's it, right? We'll see, right? Just like Microsoft, we'll see if this is it, right? And then it can take off. I don't know. So we'll watch for that. But there is good signs. Like, it's not all bad signs. So these are some of the good ones. But we'll see if they can hold. Like Duolingo already, same thing, right? We'll see if those guys can hold. Logic. Yeah, this one keep coming up on my screen, and this is building a nice base. Look at this base, so nice, so tight. The 10-day is moving up really nice, 45-degree angle. Yeah, this is another leader that not many people talk about. And look at this, starting to rise back, 64 cents, 76 cents. So yeah, looking really good. So yeah, it's near breakout point. I mean, this I didn't buy. Like, this could be an early buy point right there. But right now, you can see it's getting close to the traditional buy point. Hubs, same thing. Hubs, I'm watching Hubs as well. It's trying to come back now. But again, I think Friday. Look at this. You see my trend line here. It just, Thursday it tried to come out. Friday it fell back, right? So these are the weaker ones because they're not at the top of the range. They're more at the bottom of the range. So that's the problem with those ones. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Like Shopify, I mean, same thing here. I think they're trying to build. See, they're starting to form the bottom of the base here, like really tight trading. And again, same thing. You can see it's just having a tough time coming out. Although the selling volume, look at how dry this is. This is really dry volume. Look at that. All the selling days. That's like really good. This is like, yeah, this is like the kind of stuff that like Mark Minervini does. He looked for dry volume, and then he said that you take the last 10 days, and if it break out on high volume, that's a buy. That's a buy. So watch out for this guy. So that's Shopify. So see, these stocks are setting up. That's why I'm not completely bearish right now, because some of these are setting up. We'll see what happens. DY is like, this is the telecom infrastructure. Diacom, yeah, Diacom for telecommunication provider. Look at how tight this is holding. I was just shocked. I was holding this, but I sold it, and yeah, still holding. I couldn't believe this. Yeah, it's still looking really strong. Look at, it's just a really strong 10-day slope. I'm surprised how strong this is. Yeah, the estimate is not as strong anymore. 151. Yeah, so it's coming down. I think that's probably why I sold it. I can't remember why I sold it. ADSK, nice, checkpoint BL. Most of these are, yeah, we already talked about Google. On the discretionary side, it's stronger than I thought. They have a really like my trip, make my trip, man. This guy just, it's starting to feel like ANF, right? This guy, it's just keep going. It's but it's more volatile than ANF for sure. It's not an easy stock to hold because the you can see the weekly range is quite a bit, but you know, yeah, if you draw this channel line here, that's what it looks like right now. Yeah, this has come a long way, you know. That's the problem with this stock. It's come a long way. I sold mostly here. You can see that. Yeah, but it's still making new highs, right? Kawa, I would pay attention to Kawa. Same thing. I was holding this, and then recently, I don't remember where I saw it. It's in the last week or so. But it's still going. Like it's just holding so strong. Like, I mean, the volume is not even that high on the sell side. So I don't know. This stock just have potential. And everyone I keep hearing, like from IBD, keeps saying how good it is. Everyone wants to go try it and stuff. So it looks like it's just on the infancy of growing right now. So yeah, I feel like, you know, surprisingly, you know, the retail, some of them have been doing more better than I thought. Gaps, like this one is starting to fly. I'm like, I missed the breakout. And see this right here, like it's a nice cup pattern, broke out, really just took off. And yeah, I missed it. Like, look how fast it's moving now. It's like, yeah, right here is the breakout day. And then even the traditional buy point, look at it, it doesn't even want to come back. Those are really strong stock. This is like a 60 degree angle slope line. So that is really strong right now. That's why I said consumer discretionary has been surprising to me this week. Most of them are holding strong. Trip is making new highs, relative strength wise. Celsius, let's look at Celsius. Like this guy has run a lot already. So the question is, say 44% right now, from the here. So the question is this gonna hold? Look at Friday volume. People don't want to give up as it hit newer lows, right? So that's a good sign. This is really good sign. Like, I'm surprised how strong, like I said, the discretionary area is. You know, it's holding a lot better than I would think. Netflix starting to give back a little bit. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, it's starting to, you know, still in the tight range. So this stock is it moves. You just need patience. It's like a climb the stairs kind of move slowly. Like Whitehall. I didn't even heard of this name before, and then all of a sudden it came on my screen, and I didn't get into it. Like, this is the breakout right here, and look at this volume, like just crazy, man. Like, you know, like nobody think it could move that fast, and it did. And some of the IBD guys also miss it. RCL, Texas, lodging, that one making new low. Yeah, okay, so this one just announced. This is education. Starting to build a nice base here. Look at this volume. It's starting to, you know, even raise. I was surprised raise is still one. It's starting to come back as well. It's like pendant triangle. Yeah, so we'll see. I like raise a lot. Ferrari, and we'll see how this goes. It's starting to trade tightly. PPC making a new high. KC also breakout this week. ECL, PDD is announcing this week. Timo, I don't know. It has corrected a lot, and this is probably like the one Chinese stock that Jim Ropel likes a lot. And now it's at 200-day, and it bounced pretty strong. Wow, look at that bounce. So right here, look at this bounce here. So this is textbook institution coming back in at 200-day line. And so now I have this trend line right here. If it breaks that trend line, I don't know. I might wait. Depends, right? They're announcing in 4 days, so I think it's gonna be a big move if it's a good earnings. So I don't think I'll have a problem breaking that 50-day. Probably that will be my buy signal if that comes in. Yeah, Lee Olo is not. It's okay. Now the industrial side, I mean, like VRT just keep going. It's just like an Energizer bunny. Like I've traded this so many times. Like I sold here, I also sold here. Um, it just keep going. Look, it's making new high again. It's crazy. This stock is like just won't give up. And this is, you know, kind of, I believe it's related to the AI because they provide some of the power equipment for a lot of the data centers. So that, you know, it trade like the Nvidias, man. This guy. Mod also starting to do well. Again, same thing. It just doesn't want to give back much. So like I said, if these guys they build like a flat base here, I won't be surprised. Like, you know, and IBD, you know, saying, hey, if market can go down or sideways and build a flat base or something like that, that would be a good sign. Even fix, again, same thing, fix. And another big riser is starting to, you know. So you see, like, it just, I don't know if this is a fake move, like the software group OC. But if it does come back and, like I said, build a flat base and eventually break out again, I'll take that. So NRG, like this one, oh man, I heard this a few times and every time I just like ignore it because it's in the utilities. But like, look at this slope, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, this is such a strong move. Like, look at those 3 weeks right there. Pop M, this one is doing well too. Yeah, so this one is starting to take off as well. It's in advertising, so looking pretty good. HWM, Aris we talked about, GVA. So you see, like even industrials, a lot of them are not giving up, right? So which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, Berkshire. I gotta talk about Berkshire. Look at Berkshire. So Berkshire corrected quite a bit. Like from here, it hit a new high, and look at this. Look at what it's doing now. It's trading so tight at the bottoms, forming the bottom of the base. Now, look at Friday. Again, I don't know if this is a fake move. Like, let's not discount this day. It looks like there's support. It doesn't want to get sell off. I mean, look at 15-day. Look at this. It's, you know, in the morning, look at that, and then it came back. So this is really good support level right now. Yeah, I feel like Berkshire can lead, man. Look at this rise right here, and this could come back and be a strong leader. This is a pretty long consolidation. So yeah, I would pay attention to Berkshire. Medical product, they didn't do too much this week. Yeah, they didn't do too much this week. I mean, ISRG is probably one that is more well known, and it's starting to you know, build a sideways pattern, and we'll see. It's trying to break out now, so that could happen. And we already talked about oil, but let's just talk about like copper and gold as well. So look at copper. So look at copper, same, it's breaking out as well. Like, oh man, I missed those 2 days, first 2 days. So it's kind of a little bit extended now to buy. So I didn't. So copper looking really good. Gold, like same thing with gold, right? Gold came out like 6 days in a row. Now it's finally pulling sideways, and this is a very healthy sideways. Look at the volume. No one wants to sell. That's how low the volume is on Friday. So I like I said, I think you know, it probably, like the 10 days caught up. So the 10 days caught up. So we'll see. I think this is definitely something to really watch. On the financial side, like look at all this new high relative strength. Like again, even though my accumulation distribution table doesn't show that, it shows that most stocks are holding stronger than it looks. So there's definitely, like the Tom Lee, you know, he's really bullish on the small cap financial. Like, and it looks like it's happened. Like, I mean, some of these are insurance. Again, I don't know why insurance is doing so well, but a lot of them are insurance. Finance, investment management is also another area that's doing well, but a lot of insurance here. Yeah, lots of insurance, and then financial investment management. Yeah. I'll just quickly look at this. This is the basically stocks that have kind of gone downhill. Let's see. Let's look at Palantir quickly. Yeah, so you can see this stock is doesn't acting well. It's coming down really fast, and I think this is the scary part, right? How fast it's coming down. Set a trend line now. So this is 6-7 days now is a good trend. So we'll see how long this will go. But it's you see the slope, right? It's just not good, not good. Let's see what else here that we haven't talked about. Like the security side, let's look at that, because that used to be pretty strong too, that group. So they're starting to come down too, right? So again, the slope is quite significant. So now we can draw a slope line along on a lot of these stocks. Like obviously crowd is the strongest, and you can see this crowd here. Let me draw a steeper slope line here. It's just yeah, it's not looking good. It's like 45-degree down angle. IoT, yeah, let's look at that one. IoT. Yeah, look at how fast it's coming down. Like this one tried to break out on the earnings, and then it came back down again. Bull trap, right? So this is not like, the more bull trap you see and it failed, like that's not a good sign. Usually it will go down a lot further. That's what happens. I'm just trying to see if anything else. But yeah, in general, yeah, it's not a very good week. 2 weeks down for most market index, and Fed meetings coming up that always make people nervous, right? What they're gonna say. So after 2 inflation reports that are so strong, I think investors will probably sell off. Like that's just my guess.